Right, it's time to kick off our game versus Russia. Our first initial explore is mountains. Okay, so we'll proceed with our usual opening. We'll place a presence down. We are taking it from the first track. Then we'll take an energy as well as the minor power. So I think Gift of Constancy is the card here. Yep, that seems pretty good. I would also consider. I'm not a big fan of the rest of the cards, to be honest. They don't really fit with my game plan. Elemental Boon is the best because it is very versatile, but the one cost kind of it makes it a bit less palatable. Gift of Constancy is pretty good. We'll take it. And we can optionally move presence. I choose not to at this time. So we are going to play our usual cards, which are the two cards that give us more minor powers. So all these are slow. We'll head straight to the invader phase. We skip the first event of the game. Mountain build followed by Sands Explore. Okay. So now we have to perform side real guidance. So we have two options here. We could either use side real guidance to concentrate the Dahan in a spot, or to simply move the explorer away. I think I'm a fan of moving the explorer away. I could feasibly draw another earth card, which would allow me to get the defense 5 next turn, but I would rather, for this element here, I'd rather commit it to water rather than earth. I'll try to hold back the earth as far as possible, or rather front load the water as far as possible, because against Russia you really want to have all that blight removal. So we're done with Cyril Guidance. Now we're going to gain 3 minor powers, 1 from Shape Yourself Anew and 2 from Boon of Reimagining. So for Shape, we are definitely going to forget it, and that will allow me to gain 3 energy. Then for Boon of Reimagining, we'll have to forget a power card from my hand. So before we do that, let's take the card from Shape Yourself Anew. These cards are not very good, which is completely fine. So we'll just take one of these and immediately forget it so that we can use Boon of Reimagining to gain 6, choose 2. Okay, Nature's Resilience is absolutely amazing. 6 defense. So is Growth Through Sacrifice. That's a blight removal. Yep, they're both pretty good, so I think we'll take those. Okay. And that is it for this turn. For our second turn, we'll take another minor power. Ooh! Ooh, both of these are really good. Really, really good. So obviously, both of these cards are great, and I really wish I could take both of them. They both have the water and earth elements, but at the end of the day, I have to take Shore in this context because I already have a lot of other support cards, and I would need a card that actually helps with managing the board state. So I'm going to take Shore. And I plan to play Nature's Resilience this turn, which requires range 1 from a sacred site. So I do need to move this token here, this presence, so that when I add a presence, I can then go there so that I'm within range 1 to defend the mountain. Now, I do unlock an element, so we will be taking water. The reason we take water here is, even though I'm playing these 2 cards, and so taking earth would give me an extra defend, but as you realize here, the extra defend doesn't really do much. Yes, we could theoretically defend land 7 and save a blight, but don't forget about punishment from Russia 6. If we add blight, if we do not add blight during a ravage, we take a punishment where an extra explorer in town come into the board, and we don't want that. So we'd rather let this land blight and focus on defending land 3. We are not done for growth phase yet. We can still take an energy, and then we'll play these cards. Defense 6. Okay, so this is kind of a slow turn, but it's fine. We'll head to the invaders. Add one explorer to a land with blight. Okay. Push. This doesn't matter. Oh, push up to 2 explorers from a land with animal. I guess we're doing that. Oh, but sands are building, right? So it has to go here. Lastly, 1 damage per Dahan. Then each surviving building does 1 damage to Dahan. So something like this. No other lands have Dahan and buildings. Then we're gonna Ravage, so we still defend. Actually, the Dahan doesn't even take damage because of the defend here. So this gets wiped and this gets pushed. We'll push it here. This generates 1 fear. And that's fine. Blight here and Sands build. No build happens here. The Explorer is Wetlands. Ooh, so this is a problem this coming turn. Alright, slow phase. We gain 2 energy. And we will reclaim Nature's Resilience and proceed to the next round. Once again, we are going to open by taking a minor power. I really love Call of the Dahan Waves. It's a very, very great way to remove explorers from the board against Russia, so we are taking that for sure. Okay. Now the question is, which growth option do we take? What do we want to play this turn? We want to play at least 2 water cards, and we do have a defend in order. We need to defend land 5. So we are going to add a presence from the second track, which allows us to get triple card play. Right, so I think Call of the Dahan Ways will work. Like, no matter what stage 2 card comes up, Call of the Dahan Ways will do something. So playing that would be nice. Right, so today we are going to try to hit the threshold for side rule guidance and the blight removal. So we are going to pay the cost and we're going to do our effects. So Nature's Resilience, we are going to defend this land. And then we're going to use Growth through Sacrifice, destroy 1 presence, and remove a presence from our land. And that is all the fast actions. We'll proceed to the event phase. Ignoring Strife, destroy 2 explorers among lands with animals. So this gets pushed for 1 fear. I will push it. Oh, that is... But there's careful defense, so I can actually push this here. So that actually worked out very, very well, because had I pushed it to the mountain, it would have ravaged again. Right, there are 3 explorers there. Pushing it here is fine though, because we get defend 2 on lands with the Han. So we're going to resolve the Ravage. Blight comes here. Defense successful. Here's what we are going to do. Yeah, the question is, where do I push the explorers? But we don't really have many options. So we are going to push this explorer here, which generates a fear. And then this Ravages, pushing an explorer here, generating a fear. The other 2 are destroyed. Okay, now Wetlands, there's no build. And finally the Explore on Mountains. Ooh, now we have 3 explorers here. This is scary. We also have an escalation to handle. Which means this. I could have added the explorers on the wetland as well, but obviously it's gonna ravage, so that doesn't seem like a good idea. This slow phase was quite a tricky one to work out because I needed to plan my next turn 1 turn in advance. So here's what I think I'm gonna do. First, the blight removal, obviously on land 7, where it is at risk of being ravaged again. Now, the explorer swap, right, the conversion, I'm going to do it on land 1. Now, it looks very tempting to do it on land 3, but there are already the Han here, and it is going to build and ravage. So I can actually defend this the turn after, right? I'll play a defend here, and the Dahan will destroy whatever is here. By doing this, I will hopefully be able to get more Dahan on these 2 lands, which should make life better for me. Right, then I can have 1 of each land type with 2 Dahan in it. That is what I'm trying to go for here. So we are now building up our Dahan supply, and we need to do side reel guidance. Normally I would side reel like so to prevent the ravage from happening, but in this case I do want the ravage to happen here because we notice that wetlands are safe next turn, which means I'll take Russia 6 punishment if nothing else ravages. So I need a ravage to purposely happen just so that I don't take the Russia 6 effect. So instead, I'm actually going to use side reel guidance to guide this Dahan this way. Again, what I want to do is to have 2 Dahan in each of the 4 land types, so I always have something to defend. So this is my plan, and next turn I plan to reclaim my conversion card and turn this explorer into a Dahan, so that way I have 4 lands with 2 Dahan each. So we'll see if that works out. And that's all the abilities. Let's move on. So as I said, I'm going to reclaim the Call of the Dahan Ways, the conversion card, and then I'll do the usual, which is to add a presence. This is fine, I think. And then gain an extra card play. So I won't be gaining a new minor power this turn, which is a bit sad, but I will still get 3 card play, and I get an extra element from placing that. It's going to be Earth, right? We are focusing on water and Earth. And so we are going to play our Reclaim and the 2 remaining minor powers in our hand. Okay, these are all slow abilities, so we'll head straight to the Invader phase. This is a healthy island. Add a city to a coastal land with city. Then Pestilence. Okay, there's no Dahan here, so we're fine. Finally, each spirit may push one of their presence from a land with Dahan. 2 damage in the land push 2. I think I'm going to exercise the option here to move my presence down this way and do 2 damage like so. Of course, one of them gets destroyed, the other one gets pushed. I am okay with more stuff being here as long as I can defend it at during next turn's fast phase. So that seems pretty good. Now for your card, each player chooses a different coastal land with Dahan, in each 1 damage per Dahan. So I could prevent this build entirely by pushing the explorers back that way, or I can destroy this 1 explorer. Given that I played the conversion card this turn, what's it called? Call of the Dahan Ways. There's no need to move this, so instead I will choose land 3, 1 damage per Dahan. So that's 1 fear. Destroy 1 Dahan and push the other one sideways. Okay. Wetlands Ravage, along with land 7, which has 3 explorers, so that takes a blight. Mountains build, and there's no build here. And the last is an explore on. Ooh, double up on mountain and wetlands. Interesting. Okay, so this land 7 is getting real scary. Okay, time to resolve our slow phase. Just to be clear, there are 4 explorers in land 7, so that's going to ravage every turn until we do something about it. But it's going to ravage anyway, as you can see from the cards, so we are fine with actually leaving the explorers there for now. What do we want to do? Okay, we want to prevent, so land 7 is going to ravage every turn, and we need to remove the blight from it every turn. So this is what we are going to do with our water ability. For the other mountain and wetland lands, we need to protect them as much as possible, because we know that land 7 is going to ravage to help us with Russia 6, so all other lands need to be kept safe if possible. So side reel guidance will be used on the sands here to pull this explorer in. The conversion, I intended to do it on land 1, but because now land 3 is about to ravage, we should convert this instead. And I believe that's all. No, 1 more. The shore seethe with hatred, so I believe that's 1 fear. And I get to add a bunch of tokens here. So the wild here is actually really important. It won't prevent a build, but it will prevent a 3rd explorer from making it into land 2 and causing a threat, because we don't really have the capacity to remove this blight. we are gonna spend all our blight removal handling land 7, remember. Okay, so those are all our cards. Last thing to do is to gather the scattered light of stars. So let's move on. So with gather, if I forget a card, a unique power, such as this, I can then return 5 cards back to my hand. I would like to return... I don't really need any more blight removal if I can play water every turn. So we'll go with this and see how it goes. Alright, next turn. Now we get to gain a minor. Let's see how that works out for us. Let's gain a minor. This is pretty close. They are not... At first sight, these are all not good cards. I was looking for a water card so that I can remove a blight every turn. The best option may be Tormenting Rod Flies, because if you look at our Coastal Sands, it has a disease, it has a blight, and it has invaders. So this is 4 potential fear, which will allow us to trigger the fear bomb. So I was considering this, but given that the elements are completely off, I think I'll go with Scour the Land instead. This can also generate fear with the destroy effect, and it will help to clear the mountain that has a lot of explorers. I don't really have an answer for this right now. Scour the Land seems like the perfect answer. I just have to time it well to make sure that I don't take a Blight Cascade. So we'll try this, but we're not playing it this turn. We'll wait until the Ravage, Mountain Ravage. We'll move our presence, add a presence, and then get the extra card play and presence move, unlocking 3 card play. So the added presence will go here, and the moving presence will move all the way up here. Okay, that's settled. So let's choose which cards to play. We get to play 4 cards this turn. Let's gain our energy. We are playing Constancy and 2 water cards. We have 1 flexible slot here. Honestly, if there's nothing better to play, I just gather the Scattered Light of Stars. Because there's no need to defend this turn, right? This is gonna Ravage, we're gonna let that Ravage. There's nothing else to play this turn, actually. So I may as well just play Gather, so that we can get more cards back into hand. So this will allow us to reclaim 2, this allows us to reclaim 1, so pretty much getting most of our cards back. That's pretty good. It's just that we won't get to do a lot of actions this turn. We do trigger a Defend 5, but it's not going to be of much use, to be honest. I'll just slap the Defend 5 here because I can. There are some event cards that, you know, benefit from the defend. Otherwise, everything else is slow and will react to whatever comes up. Yes, this is a fast ability, I forgot. So I gain 2 energy and a reclaim at the end of my turn, and everything else is slow. So let's head straight to the invader phase. Alright, invaders. Healthy Island. Destroy 2 presence and gain a power card. Or forget a power card, gain 2 energy, move up to 2 of my presence a lot. As much as I would like a power card, my presence is a very valuable resource. So I think I'll take the other option, leave behind that which restrains you. So I'll forget a power card, which will be Gift of Constancy. I've already used it. And in exchange, I'll gain 2 energy and I get to move my presence. That's not very relevant. My presence is exactly where I want it to be, so we'll leave it as is. Ignore disease, which doesn't matter, but I get a fear because there's disease on my board, and a defend 2. Okay, the fear is in each land defend 3, doesn't really matter. So ravage, no ravage, blight, build, build, no build, wetlands, build. And finally, oh, okay, that is dangerous. The escalation and the jungle explore come together. That is very, very scary. Okay. Okay, that is very threatening. Alright, I have a rough idea of what I want to do with my actions. First, I'll use Shore Seas with Hatred. We have 3 options here. I'm going to choose land 3 because I want the wild to have maximum effect. In other words, if a mountain comes up on a future explore, I don't have to worry about land 3. Um, this also gives me 1 fear from the card itself. Next, the Call of the Dahan Ways. I'm going to replace. Before that, I'm going to use Sidereal Guidance to guide 1 Dahan this way, and then use Call of the Dahan Ways to replace that Explorer with a Dahan. So now I can defend land 4. Then I'm going to remove a Blight, obviously, from land 7. And I believe that's my whole turn. I will now proceed with a Reclaim. So, Scattered Light of Stars gives me Reclaim 2. And Gift of Constancy was successfully used before I forgot it to the event. So I get another Reclaim 1 from there. So in other words, I get to reclaim all 3 cards. Ah, there's a Growth through Sacrifice that's not reclaimed. Okay. So now we are moving on with the next round. So hopefully I get a good minor power here. See how this goes. Not too happy about this. I guess Aquifers is the best we can ask for. Actually, Aquifers is pretty good considering what's going on here. Oh, yeah, actually, it's pretty good there. It is pretty good there. If I get 1 more Badlands here, it's actually pretty good. I can start wiping a city. Okay. So before we continue with our growth options, let's consider what I want to play this turn. I definitely want to scour the land. The plan is to remove 4 explorers and all the towns here. I need to remove the blight before doing so. So I need to find some form of blight removal. So that's playing a bunch of water cards. Shore again, it's a reliable card. I also need a defend on my jungle. And you can't go wrong with playing Call of the Dahan Ways again and again, honestly. Converting this Explorer is pretty good. Especially if the next stage 3 card brings another Explorer onto the jungle. Okay, so let's take stock. With this set of cards, I have enough to trigger a bunch of innates. Or I could play Aquifers this turn. I've worked it out. Here's my plan for the turn. I'm going to play 4 minor cards, and as you can see, I hit enough elemental thresholds to actually use 4 of my innate powers. So we're going to get a lot done this turn. But for this to be fully effective, let's set some things up. So we're going to move a presence after our card gain. I shall move this presence into land 2. Then we'll add a presence into reclaim just to be safe. I could be really risky and go for the extra card play, but given how few cards I have in circulation for Starlight, I think this is the safer option. So taking the presence off here gives me 1 energy. I'll put, yeah, I'll refill the presence there. And for my last move, obviously, +1 card play, move a presence. I'll forfeit that. Alright, so let's look for some fast powers. I have a defense 5. I have a defense 6. And those are all my fast powers. So, let's just spread that out. And we'll move on to the invader phase. Okay. Firstly, I have 1 leaf. Okay, good to know. Whew. That's a tough choice. That's a real tough choice. Because a permanent element is so powerful in the hands of Starlight. Ultimately, however, I think 10 to your own strength is a safer option. At worst, we'll be playing with 1 fewer blight. The animal effect is not relevant because there's no Dahan with blight, so we are fine there. And we get 1 energy, so that will allow us to have 5 card play more often. So I think 10 to your own strength seems better. So we're gonna resolve that. Each spirit gains an energy. and discards a minor power. I see a leaf, so unfortunately we remove one from the blight card. On each board, push one animal to a land without towns, and then one fear if there is a building, if explorers are there. Then I'll return to Old Pillars this way. There is no fear card. Let's proceed with the Ravage. So, Mountain and Wetland Ravage. Ravage. Okay, we need to resolve this Ravage first in case an escalation is revealed from the deck. So we'll resolve the jungle first. It will Ravage and take out 2 explorers, pushing 1. And this adds a fear and reveals sand escalation. So an explore, no, there's no explore, sorry, no explore happens. The escalation happens immediately, so I'll escalate into the jungle. Ah, but it builds. Oh, that's not good. Hold on. We can't have that. I think it has to go here. Oh, that's not good either. I can't defend that. Ooh, this is nasty. Okay. I can still defend this. This is still defensible. We can leave it here. We will escalate here. So I've resolved the Ravage here. I've yet to resolve the Ravage here and here. This gives me a fear, and this gives me another fear. I'll push this here as well. Ravage resolve. Next, jungle and sands build. Build. And lastly, an explore on sands and wetlands. Explore. That wild coming in very handy here. Okay, so that's the fear bomb. Let's try to survive this. Okay, slow phase. We have a lot of cards to resolve in the slow phase, but is it enough? That's the question. Our infested aquifers are irrelevant, to say the least. The only land where we can infest is the wetland, so let's do that. And generates a fear. Next, we will replace an explorer with a Dahan. It's gotta be this one. Alright, then we are going to use our blight clearing ability, or water, and then we'll scour the land. So destroy 3 towns, that's 2 fear, and all explorers, so that's 1 more fear, and an explorer push. I shall push it here. Okay, so actually the good news here is, even though we triggered the fear bomb, the Ravage, the double Ravage, is going to happen, but there's no land with triple explorer, so I'm not going to eat a double Ravage, so that's pretty good. Alright, so what other Scour the Land drops a blight here. Okay, what other abilities remain? I have yet to use the animal ability and side reel guidance. Okay, side reel obviously pulls this away so that I don't get a build there. And then the animal ability, I can nuke a land for 2 damage. I think I'll nuke land number 5. This generates another fear, and we'll move on. As always, the first thing we do during our turn is to gain a minor card. I know it seems like we have a lot of energy, but once we get to 5 card plays, trust me, we'll need all that reserve energy. Let's see what we get here. Ambushes is pretty good. I want that. So I'm quickly realizing I don't have the resources to be able to defend all my lands. I will have to let the island blight. So here's what's going to happen. We'll continue by moving our presence away and letting the blight cascade on land 2. We can't, that can't be helped unless I get lucky on the event or something. Next, I'll add a presence, unlocking this. The element will take its fire. Right, this is why I took elusive ambushes. And then we will reclaim our entire hand. This will go here. Alright, so unlocking this gives me the fire, it gives me an energy, and I only get 3 card play. If I had 4 card play, this would be a lot more comfortable. Alas, that's not the case. So we'll play defend, defend, Shaw. So let's use all the fast abilities. We have a defense 6, a defense 5, and a defense 4. Even this is no guarantee. The defense 4 is a bit too little. I'm going to risk it on this land here. I hope that I can get some effect that will reduce the amount of the incoming damage on here. The rest will be according to this. So defense 6 here, defense 5 there, defense 4 here. Alright. And we expect the cascade to tip us over to the Blighted Island. Can't be helped. Hopefully it won't be too punishing. Let's head to the invader phase. Right, because the alternative was to let like land 1 go down along with the Dahan, which I think is not a good idea. I want to keep my Dahan alive. It's a long-term investment. Okay, event. Stage 2. Ignore wilds. But yes, ignore wilds, and there are wilds, so explore actions do not add extra explorers because I do have a wild in land 3. Right, fear card. Oh wait, I'm not done yet. In each land with animal, 1 damage per animal. Okay, so that does it. So I can push this here, which gives me 1 fear and flips me over to terror level 2. So Piece of the Nighttime Sky is turned off now. I need to remember that. Each land, so this triggers on land 6 as well. I can optionally do 1 damage here. I'm not sure I want to, however. Yep, I'll play it safe. I'll do the damage to the town. Next, Coming of Age. No other symbols, so it has to be this jungle. Everything else has a symbol on it. Alright. So now we resolve 3 fear cards at terror level 2. That's nice. Remove from a land with the Han. I'm thinking of removing it from here. This gives me the most mileage. Next. 1 damage per Dahan. Okay. I will choose land 6. 1 damage per Dahan. That's 2 damage. So this gets moved here. I generate a fear. Lastly, gather up to 2 Dahan, then 1 damage if Dahan are present. I'm very tempted to sacrifice a Dahan by pulling it this way and doing 2 damage. The Dahan is going to die for sure, but it is working on this land. I think it's worth it. I think it's worth it. Let's do it. So I'm going to sacrifice this poor Dahan here. It will be gathered. And we will do 1 damage plus 1 from Badlands, so 2 damage. Pushing this back up. So we generate a fear. And then we proceed with the Ravage. First, Jungle's Ravage. This is well defended, and I'll do 4 damage in return. 1 fear, and 1 fear. I'll push this here. Then for this one, 1 fear, 1 fear. This will go here. This is safer. Okay. Sands Ravage. So this one ravages first. So 1 fear. Push this back here. 1 fear. Oh, the fear bomb. I forgot about the fear bomb. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Ooh. Ooh, that's nasty. Ooh, completely forgot about the fear bomb. Oh, that's really nasty. That is really, really nasty. I was not prepared to deal with that. Everything is going to build and ravage this coming turn, and there's a lot of random explorers sitting around. This is pretty bad. Anyway, this ravages because it's a sand, so it cascades. We'll have to flip this card. Alright. And cascade. Alright. Here comes hell. Build phase. Everything builds. So build, 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 and build. Okay, then the worst part is the explore affects all lands, and it is coastal lands. Right? Wilds are ignored here. Ooh, that is very deadly. Very, very deadly. Alright, we commence our slow phase here, and obviously the Fear Bomb has thrown a wrench in our plans. Every land is going to ravage, and obviously we don't really have the resources to defend everything. We need to hedge our bets and hope that the fear cards and the event will pull through for us for a bit. Our main goal is really to prevent the Blight Cascades. So land 2, land 3, land 7 are all high priority defense. So in order to accomplish this, we are going to combo Shore Seas with Hatred and Fireburn on land 3. So let's see what that does. First, Shore Seas gives us 1 fear and gives us 1 of each token again. Let's do that. And then we use our innate with 3 fire, gives us 1 fear and 2 damage plus 2 from Badlands. Total 4 damage is enough to take out everything. And we'll push the Explorer this way. We are not pushing it here because that would cause a double ravage, since it would with 3 explorers it would match the land twice. So we are going to push it here and hope that this beast doesn't die. We have enough fear cards to hopefully, you know, protect this land without needing a defend. So we are hedging our bets here. Next, we still remove a Blight from the 3 water innate. And I believe that is all our abilities, right? So we'll proceed to the next turn. So we could gamble on taking a minor power, but the most reliable defense requires us to reclaim our cards, because we really need these. We need this defense card. Nature's Resilience gives us the Earth and the defense 6 that is needed to hold the blighted lands. We are going to gain a card play, move a presence, and then add a presence. Adding the presence gives us 1 energy. We are going to start our working our way towards the 5th card play. So first we move a presence down here, and then we add a presence. I'll add it here. It doesn't really matter where we add it. Okay. Cards that we are going to play this turn are, we have 4 card play. We are going to play Growth Through Sacrifice to remove a Blight. We are going to play the defense 6. To activate our innates, we'll need to play Shore Seas, and we have 1 moon, so to make up both moons, we can play Gather. This will allow us to reclaim some of these power cards. Okay, so let's pay the cost, and let's use all the fast cards. So we get to remove a Blight after destroying a presence, and then we get a defense 6, defense 5. Everything else is slow. Alright, so defense 6 plus 5 is 11. We have to put all the defense here, because this land is going to take 6, 8, 10, 12 damage. So defense 11 is just enough to hold this land. We have to hold it because otherwise it will Blight Cascade. This means that we are leaving lands 1 and 4 vulnerable. Hopefully the fear cards will allow us to deal with those. Then next we'll destroy 1 of our presence in order to remove a Blight in 1 of our lands. So this way, land 7 will still ravage, it will still remove our presence, but at least it doesn't cascade. So that is our goal here. Alright, with all that played, let's see if the event and fear decks are nice to us. This is stage 3. If the island is healthy, it is not. If it's blighted, add 1 fear card to the top of the fear deck. Ooh, that's gonna prolong the game. In each land with animal, 1 damage per animal. That was what I was looking for. That is fantastic. So this gets damaged. The question is, where do I send it? I'll probably send it here. And this explorer will be sent somewhere. Oh no, no, it won't. There's no animal. There's no animal. Yeah, there's no explorer here. So, alright, so this is sent here. I get a fear for pushing it. Next. Coming of age. 1 Dahan to a land with 2 or more Dahan. Well, we'll try our best to hold this land, so more Dahan here. Now we get to play 3 field cards. First, on each board, remove 1 from a land matching a Ravage card. Okay, great. So we're going to remove an Explorer. Next, each player removes a land with 2 or fewer invaders. Wonderful. Once again, we remove this. 2 or fewer invaders. Lastly, each player removes up to 3 health of invaders from a land with disease or 1 from an inland land. That's unfortunate. So we did not manage to defend land 1, but that's fine. We will remove 1 from an inland land. So we definitely want to get rid of explorers here. And then we'll perform the Ravage. So Sands, Water, Ravages first. This is protected. Sands, Water, Water. Then Mountain and Jungle. Mountain, Jungle, Mountain, and Jungle. So this takes 2 damage, but we retaliate and kill the town. Alright, Blight was added during this Ravage phase, so we do not suffer punishment. Next, Coastal build. Build. And the others don't build. Lastly, Jungle Wetlands. Okay, Jungle Wetlands. Okay, Jungle, Wetlands. Cool. Alright, we survived that, barely. And now we get to do our slow phase. Before we begin the slow phase, a quick correction. I completely forgot to resolve the Blighted Island effect. Thankfully, what I was going to do here is very obvious. I can forget a power that has absolutely no more use. So we are definitely forgetting Piece of the Nighttime Sky. So that goes away. Yep. So yeah, that doesn't affect anything. I would have done that. Resolve it that way regardless. Okay, now let's head to the board and see what we can do. So, the first thing we want to do is actually to use our 3 leaf power, or 3 plants, to gain a minor power. Yes, we'll be going up to 5 card play, so we still don't have energy for a major. So we're gonna still take a minor here. I like defend 4. Ooh. Sunset's Fire. That's a card. Alright, in this mid to late game stage, Sunset's Fire suddenly seems like a pretty appealing option. It's like a minor plus. It's halfway between a minor and a major because you can pay 2 energy to affect 2 lands. And with all the bad lands that are running about, this could be an interesting option. It also has water, it has fire, it has moon. A lot of good stuff going for us if we take this. So let's give that a shot. Back to the board. Next, we will resolve. This time we're putting it on here. On the sands. This generates 1 fear. And then we'll resolve the blight removal. Right, so 3 fire allows us to deal 1 fear. And 2 damage. Plus 2 from Badlands, so total of 4 damage. That's 1 town. And 2 explorers. We will push this explorer here. I think this is fine. We can defend this. Okay. So that ability is done. Oh, we remove a blight, 3 water. Okay, next. We have side rail guidance. Ooh, there are a couple of ways we can play it. We can either guide this way or guide this somewhere else. There's reasons to do both. In particular, we know that the stage 2 card here is a wetlands escalation. So be prepared for this land to become this if I do not use side rail guidance here. So that's a lot of stuff we have to deal with. Whereas if I guide this, somewhere else, say here, probably not here, somewhere else. I only need to deal with 2 explorers, but it will still ravage. Not really happy about either choice, but given that animals, bees can protect the lands that they are in, I think side view guidance this way makes the most sense. Alright, so we've resolved all our innates, we've resolved Shore Seas with Hatred, so that's all our abilities. The only thing left to do is to resolve Gather the Scattered Light of Stars. We'll need to reclaim 2 cards. We can forget it to reclaim everything, but there's no point. I don't think we need Growth through Sacrifice at this point, so we'll just take back our Defend and Shore Thieves, and these go into the discard pile. Alright, so this turn we are going to unlock 5 card play, so we are going to gain the card play, which allows us to move a presence. I think having a presence here is not a bad idea. I don't think it really matters, but we are just going to do that. Next, add a presence. Unlocks this, so we gain an energy. We'll put this here. And finally, 1 more card play. So we get a total of 5 card play. So what are we going to play? We need to play some defense, I believe. We'll play Sunset since we just got it. Seems like a pretty decent card. So at this point, what's our elemental composition? We could use a bit more Moon. Infested Aquifers is probably a good idea, because we know that it's going to be a wetland over here. Actually, Core of the Dahan Waste is better than Aquifers. Okay. And at this point, we may as well play Aquifers because this gives us the animal threshold. So we are going to hit the Moon, Fire, Water, Earth, and animal thresholds. That's a lot of thresholds, and this is the reason why getting up to 5 card play is so good. And we're not even done yet. 5 card play, and one of our powers is fast. So let's think about that. Well, I did say that Sunset's Fire is a pretty good card in the mid to late game, and I'm going to showcase that right now. So we are going to make it fast and resolve it right now. So we get 1 fear, and 1 damage, and then we pay 1 energy to deal 1 damage in an adjacent land. So we are going to target lands 2 and 5. So 1 damage here plus 2, total 3 damage, that takes out the city. So now we only need a defend 4 here. Then we do 1 damage here, pushing this explorer here, generating 1 fear. So that's a pretty good use of that card. Now we'll just need to resolve the other fast powers. We have defense 6 and a defend 5. No, sorry, a defend 4 and a defend 5. So put these here. This is the defend 4, that's the defend 5. They are all adequately defended, which means we don't need the defend 6. So we can use the bottom effect instead to remove a blight, and everything else is slow. So we'll remove a blight somewhere. Probably the mountain. This one's more at risk. And that is it. We'll head to the invader phase. Now this matters. We need to forget a power or destroy one of our presence. I don't think we need growth through sacrifice anymore. Yep. So we shall forget it. And then proceed to the event. This is stage 2. Urbanization. In each land with at least 2 towns. I have bad news, my friend. There are no lands with 2 towns. Next, Stricken. Invaders do not ravage. Does not matter. There are no lands with strife or disease that are matching. On each board, push 2 the hunt from a land with city to a land without city. Again, not relevant. So this event is pretty blank all in all. For your cards, each player removes 1 and 1 from a land with animal, or 1 from a land adjacent to animal. Okay, I'll remove this explorer here to prevent the build. Next, skip the next normal explore. Wow, I'm not sure that's a good thing or not, but we'll see. Ravage. So, Ravage, defend, defend. The Han here fight back, so we generate a fear and push this down here. Next, jungle wetland build. Build, 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 build. and the explore is skipped. Once again, I need to make a retrospective correction. I completely forgot that during the Ravage phase, during the Coastal Ravage, no Blight was added. So we had to suffer the punishment from Russia 6, which is to add a town and an explorer to the land with the most explorers. Thankfully, this doesn't compromise the integrity of the game. My decision on which land to apply the punishment to doesn't matter because there was no decision to be made. It always happens in the land with the most explorers, and that was definitively land 7. Let's proceed with resolving our slow actions, and looking at everything, I actually realized that there is a way to push for a victory, a terror level 3 victory, which involves removing all the cities from the board. So let's give that a go. To start with that, we'll use our fire and water ability, our innate. So this is 1 fear and 2 damage plus 2 from the Badlands, so 4 damage. This takes out the city for 2 fear. And I can push this explorer here, generating a fear. Right, and then I remove 1 blight. Next, I will resolve side route guidance. I can hit the 3 moon effect, which allows me to gather 3 explorers to prevent the ravage on land 7 due to having 3 explorers, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to purposefully let land 7 ravage, and that is because what I'm going to do here is I'm going to fight them head on and remove the cities using the Han. So using side route guidance, I'm going to pull this Dahan here. Then using my 3 animal ability, I have 3 animal symbols, I get to push 3 Dahan up this way. Now we can fight. And because I played, what's the card called? Call of the Dahan Ways this turn, I can replace a town with a Dahan. Again, I'm keeping 3 explorers intact because I want this land to ravage this turn. So I've used up all my abilities, but 1, which is the infested aquifers. I choose this land. It has a disease, so 1 damage to each invader. I'll push this back here. So all I need to do now is to muster up enough defense to hold land 7, and I'll win on the ravage phase. Land 7 is going to take 6, 8, 10, 12, 14 damage. So this should be deterministically doable, barring any crazy events. So let's reset the board. First, we add a presence. This gives us enough energy to play the game. Then we take extra card play and the reclaim. Right? We need that much defend, so we are going to play both our defend cards here. Spare no quarter. Then honestly, any other 2 cards here will do. I'm just going to play, sure, these 2 cards. I don't think it really matters. Alright, so how much defend do we muster up? 5, 4, 6, for a total of 15 defense. That should do it. I suppose we'll just use Shore Sieves in the fast phase so that we can generate more fear. 1 fear, and add 1 wild and 1 badlands. Okay. And we will win during the ravage phase, hopefully. Let's resolve that. It's a blighted island. On each board, add 1 blight to a land without presence. I can destroy 2 presence. This is where hoarding all the presence comes in handy. I'm just going to destroy 2 presence here. Next. On each board, push stuff from lands with animals. I actually don't want to do that. Up to. I can choose not to. I choose not to. Next, gather 1 Dahan into a land with Dahan. Defend 1 per Dahan. Sure, why not? Right, 15 defend, not enough. Let's make it 20. Alright, fear cards at territory. Each player adds 1 strife. Skip all normal actions in lands with animal. Not that that really matters. And add strife, again, doesn't really matter. And we proceed with a Ravage. I'm going to Ravage on land 7 first. We defend and we kill both cities. Alright, that was a very high scoring game. Got pretty good card draw luck. It could have gone worse, but I think this is a pretty good demonstration of how getting up to 4 and even 5 card plays with Starlight is so powerful. Even though we never played or even drafted a single major this game, we had so many actions at our disposal because we were activating our innates left, right, center along with all these powerful minor cards. You can see how Badlands were very useful in controlling those coastal lands and yeah, just whittling down all those towns and cities. Well, hope this was an interesting game, and thanks once again to Ray for pointing me towards this direction. It's not a very intuitive way to play Starlight, but it definitely works in this particular context. So thanks for watching. See you next time.